Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Jeannie and it's Jeannie's Signatures. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. If you're an old subscriber, thank you. So, without wasting further time, this is what we'll be making today: a bralette gown. You can rock this to the beach. You know, we're in the season. Don't bother yourself like, oh, what am I going to wear? I wish I can go to a beach. And you don't have anything to wear. Sit back, relax, and let's make this beautiful bralette gown. It's sexy and it's beautiful and it's decent. Yeah, so if this is what you're interested in, please kind of watch. So this was where my mannequin was wearing it, but my client later came for fittings and she had to wear it, so I took a permission to show you how it looked on her as well. So this is my client rocking her own. I later on opened up the slit in the front because that was what she wanted. She wanted the slit visible, so I made it more open, as you can see. So she was so happy that this was exactly what she wanted, even though the one on the thumbnail was somehow, but this was what she described and this was what she got. So if this is what you're interested, sit back, relax, and let's go right over to the cotton tutorial. So now I'm going to be making use of a paper first, just for illustration purpose. Just fold into 4. And then for my client, I made use of 6 inches. I marked 6 inches all the way around because she's, of course, on the small cup size. So just mark whatever you have of your client. For big people with bust, I would advise you go for like 8 inches. Yeah, that should be okay, or 9 inches, depending on your client's bust. So for example, sometimes you can make use of the distance between the bust point and then your under bust, and then add 2 inches or 3 inches. That should, I think, work out perfectly fine. So after cutting that out, this is what we have. So I'm going to be placing this on my fabric, and then I'll be cutting out exactly what we have here. So I've gone ahead to cut that out. I already have a tutorial on how I did this on my channel on how to cut a bralette. That was a top, but this is a gown, but I'm making the upper part also the same thing like that one. So let me quickly show you how I achieved this after cutting it out on the fabric. So this is what I have. You can see that it's in form of a flare, and I cut it on fold because I'm going to be using the same fabric to turn the cup area. So I just slitted that side open because I didn't want to cut everything all out, and then I took this band that I have made, 1 inch band, just fold half an inch inside, and then you cut it out like that, and then make it long as you would want. So now I'm going to be running the stitch on it like that, just to put it in place. So that was exactly how I did that other one. So let me just quickly go ahead and do that. And so this is what I have. So I have the 2 cups ready, as you can see right here. So you can see it. So now my client does not want a chest area showing, so I devised a means. I merged the 2 sides, as you can see, and then I'll be going up by 2 inches. I'll just go ahead and sew it by 2 inches just to cover the chest area. So having done that, I'm back. So I'm going to be fixing the band straight away. So for the band, just measure out your client's waist measurement. You know, it's going to be divided by 4, right? So for the front, my client's waist was 14 inches. That's 28 to 14, but I added 1 inch on both sides. So I cut out 16 inches, and the length of this band is 3 inches. So I cut out 2 pieces. I'm going to be using one to sew directly as I'm placing it like this, and then use the other one to cover up the stitches, as you would see. So now I've placed the middle of the band like so. As you can see, this is how it looks. I'll leave 1 inch of the sewing allowance on one side, and then make sure that I gather the remaining fabric inside to make it up for the waistband. I believe you understand. I'll just run a gather stitch on both sides, drag it, and then do the needful. So I've gone ahead to do this, as you can see. You should understand what I'm doing, but if you don't understand this, just check out my tutorial on how to cut a bralette. It's well explicit. So now I'm going to be taking the other band and then place it like this, just to cover up the stitches that we have there. We don't want rough edges too much on this, even though we're going to be using our interlocking machine to cover up those some points later, but let's reduce it as much as we can. So I'm going to be running half an inch on it, and then I'll be back. So after doing that, this is what we have. Now, in order for us to attach our gathers, that is for the front part, how do you determine this? You just subtract your full length from your half length, and whatever you have is going to be making up for the gather's length. And then for the width, I made use of 14 times 3. So by the time you multiply 14 or 16 times 3, I beg your pardon, you'll be getting the fullness of what you need. I made use of 3 yards of fabric for this, and all is by 16 length. So I've gone ahead to gather this. Make sure the gathers are evenly gathered. So this is what we have for the front part. As you can see, it's very, very beautiful, and it's coming out nice. So now we're setting this aside so that we'll go over to the back piece. Now for the back piece, this is the band. I'm not making use of 3 inches band just like I did in the front. No, I cut out my band of 2.5 inches for the back. And so I'll just be taking my gathers. And then for the length, I added extra inches. For the front, I made it 16. Then for this back, I made it like 24. So I did this because I'll be attaching an elastic band on the waistline to give firmness at the back part. So that is why I did that. I extended the waist measurement. Now I'm taking the same gathered length, the same length as of the front, and then the width as well, gather it and then the back. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what we have. So now I've gone ahead to run some stitches on the band, like 3 lines of stitches, and on those lines I'll be attaching my elastic band. Now let me tell you, if your client's waist is 14 inches, don't go ahead and cut out 14 inches. No, you know it's an elastic. If your client's waist is 14 inches, go ahead and cut out 10 inches. That was exactly what I did. Just reduce the length when you're cutting out the band. So I've gone ahead to do that, and that is how the band came out to be. So now I'll be placing the front like so, and then placing the back directly like this on the waistline, making sure that the lines are attached, the side seams lines, that is the waistband, corresponds together. And then I'll be attaching some pockets just to give it a bit of, you know. So when you want to attach your pockets, just come down by 1 inch from your waistline, just like the way we do our inseam pockets. Just come down by 1 inch from your waistline and then attach it like so, just the way I'm doing it. Use a pin to hold that down, because of course you're going to be running a stitch on that before sewing it all the way. So you just attach it, place it like this. So if you've watched up to this level and you have not yet subscribed, and you have not yet liked, and you have not yet shared, what are you waiting for? Please kindly do the needful. Thank you. So I'm just trying to place where the pockets are going to be, so that when I'm sewing it, I'm just going to be sewing everything once and for all. So just take your time and do it very well. You don't need to rush. So now this is what I have. You sew that first. You sew this as well first before, and then the other side as well. You're going to be doing the same thing before you're going to be running your stitch of 1 inch all the way around on both sides as well. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what we have. So you can see the back. It says I don't need to fix any zipper because it was easy for my client to wear because of the elastic. So you don't need a zipper except you just want to add it for fun. So now we're almost through. So this is the pocket, as you can see. So now in order for us to, and then just fold the length half an inch. So this is the front. It's looking very beautiful and sexy and decent. So in order to get that tying at the back, I just cut out what I have left of my fabric, 3 inches on fold, and then the length is optional. Whatever you want, you can just go ahead and cut. Just cut it long, but this was what was left of the fabric, and I just had to make use of it like that. So now I'm going to be placing this. I don't know, my camera did not really zoom very well. So you're going to be placing that starting from the line where your back stopped. You're going to be placing it where the line of the back stopped, and then use a pin to hold it. So you're going to be running it from that part up to the side where the cup is. You're going to be doing the same thing here. Place like this. Let me see if this will show very well. So place it like this and then pin it down. And then you're going to be running a stitch across it like that. Just run about 1/4 of an inch like that, and then run it like that on both sides, and then you've secured the ropes for the back so that you can tie it. So this is how it's going to be looking. So we are basically through. I've gone ahead to open the slant. For opening the slant in the front, just go in by your nipple to nipple measurement. Don't divide by 2 because of course this is a gather, so just use the whole nipple to nipple measurement and then slit it open. So this is what we have, and we are through the tutorial. Yeah, so if you enjoyed watching this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share. So kindly watch out for my next tutorial because it's going to be a banger.